Split 1 has finished and Split 2 has started here for Atlantic A Division. It's the ending week of Split number 1. We're getting ready for Split number 2 in the upcoming week for week number 7. However, this is week number 6, day number 2 of CCL Season 3. My name is McCormiel. Alongside myself is Cruisin' Spaz. And for tonight's matches, we have got a barn burner number 3, Concord Maroon, going up against the unranked LVC Esports. Again, both of these teams locked into Split 2 for their division. However, LVC Esports looking to pull off the illustrious upset here tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to get an upset here tonight. Both these teams, though, they are definitely going to be qualified for that top split. So we should see this matchup again later in the league as well. Like you said, it's definitely going to have to be an upset, though, if LVC wants to pull off this against the Concord Maroon, who still has yet to drop a map in the league.
Well, it's no small feat, and the only other teams I believe to have that still standing is the Ottawa Schools as well. So those two teams, again, mixed with Concord Maroon, are sure going to be leading up for a great and fun playoff series, hopefully down the line. However, we got to talk about our schedule for today here for day number 2 of week number 6 here on Alpha. As we mentioned beforehand, LVC Esports will be taking on the undefeated Concord Maroon for map number 1. For map number 2 at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, the E4 Knights will take on UTK White. And then 11 o'clock here to end off week number 6 on the Alpha stream at 11 Eastern Standard Time. LU Esports taking on Waterloo Gold. Over on the Bravo channel, though, there's 3 more matches being all played out today as well. Purdue Cold versus St. Clair Saints is map number 1. JSCU, it's a tongue twister there. Esports versus VCU Esports will be match number 2 at 9:30. And of course, our interval at 11 o'clock tonight will be LC Lions versus the York Lions, the battles of the Apex Predators inside of that region. So, as that being said, cruising back to this match specifically, Concord Maroon, a perfectly undefeated record. LVC Esports, they're going to be trying to come out hard, strong, and powerful tonight, especially if they are going to be potentially having a little bit of a mix-up with the GA system and the meta that we are having. I'm not sure if that's exactly what is going to be happening tonight, if they are playing with the new GA system, or they're waiting till the end of Split 1 to then make those kind of, I guess, adjustments in towards that meta during week 2. But if we do see that, does LVC have a bit of a chance tonight against this Concord Maroon squad?
I mean, you'd like to think so. I definitely like the map set that they have for them as well. It's a good map set for the side of LVC. Obviously, Maroon has not dropped a map yet, so any map set should be a good map set for them in all honesty. But I mean, if I'm really looking at this LVC team, I want to see Tenacious. I want to see him pop off. He is the captain of the team. Sitting with a 1.99 KD in hardpoint, he's going to need to continue to do that if he wants to be able to pop off against Concord Maroon. The rest of the team, it's really going to come down to they got to win their gunfights against this Concord Maroon team, and you win your gunfights, you got a definitely a good chance to be able to beat them.
Well, win your gunfights, get map control. Map number 1, it's all about map control. Top plane is going to be the place to be. We're going to checkmate for the hard point. Map number 2 will be a raid, search, and destroy. And for the control, we're going to be back-to-back on raid for that map as well. If we need to go to the distance, well, Garrison is going to be our mainstay for maps number 4 and 5 for the hard point and search and destroy, respectively. But talking about game 1 a little bit more importantly here, I already mentioned how top plane is going to be extremely important in this matchup. But realistically speaking, if the M4 is not going to be used inside of this best-of-5 series, and we're seeing the Krig and the AK-74U, not only is the Krig going to be much more valuable on this map for holding down those long-range angles, but those M4s that usually put aggressive in towards the top plane, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for your ARs to get presence and pressure up in that top plane, especially with how strong the SMGs and the AK-74U are against the Krig specifically in the specific map set and the meta that we are going to be playing in for the next couple of weeks, or at least seemingly the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the thing that's going to be even scarier about the Krig now is the Krig's been good. The XM4 was the gun that came into the meta to kind of counteract the Krig and be able to play with the SMGs at a higher level, a little bit further. But now they even kind of hit the SMGs a little bit harder with the new meta because they take off the barrels. It's going to be a lot harder, more recoil guns. I mean, if you guys saw our first match yesterday on Alpha, there was definitely a lot of recoil. Look at those submachine guns looked like they were struggling quite a bit more than normally as they would. But I mean, still inside that plane, they're going to have a lot of control. I think it's really going to come down to those big, long gunfights on P2 and P5 that are really just once you get them. And we just got confirmation that we are going to be running new GAs on the map. So you guys are going to see a treat here.
Ooh. Not only is this going to be spicy for the fact that Concord Maroon is still undefeated and looking to finish out their split with an undefeated record versus LVC, now the challenger might have something in their favor, especially if both of these two teams have only had light practice. It's a chance to steal something out of here. Obviously, 2 guns are still the same. So at the same time, you kind of got to, okay, you know, it's not that crazy of a difference, but the fact still remains that upsets are always possible, especially when you're using a new map set, or rather a new gun set inside of this meta. So with that being said, taking a look at the rosters for both of these schools, let's start off with the LVC Esports roster. 7-2 inside of the Atlantic A division, 4th inside of their division as well. It's Tenacious, Nuts, Dunder, and Twizzy. Looking at the side of the undefeated number 3 Concord Maroon inside of our power rankings at 9-0, an undefeated map count, and of course the undefeated map record, 1st inside of the Atlantic A division. It's Megatron, Red Chase, Crooked, that's Andrew Crooked, Mr. Traumatizing, rounding out that 4-man roster. They are not a squad to tread lightly with. Cruising. It is one of those teams that is going to come out hard-headed, and they're going to smack you in the mouth a couple of times until you can't speak anymore.
No, you're not wrong. Concord Maroon is basically a team that needs no introduction. They won the kickoff. They have looked very dominant in the league so far. There's really not much else to say about these guys. If you are going to beat these guys, it's going to take something really special. And you know what? Maybe it takes the new veto system, or sorry, the new meta. Maybe it takes just everybody on the side of LVC coming out, just shooting hotter than they've ever shot before in their lives. But you know what? There's a chance. There's always a chance when it comes to COD. It's any given day.
Well, any given day. Maybe this is the series that Concord Maroon meets their tragic fate in an upset. We know them from playoffs last year. We know this roster from the challenger scene as well. So no short and surprise where we see Concord Maroon topping out the ranks just behind that Ottawa Gold and Black rosters inside of our top weekly 25. And folks, if you don't know what the top 25 is, that is something that we do every single week here inside of the CCL season. And that is going to give us our power rankings for the top 25 teams inside of the league. That's based off of not only records, but strength of opponents, strength and schedule, and a bunch of different metrics that go into determining who our top 25 is. With that being said, though, we got to talk about playoffs. Playoffs are the most important thing when it comes to any league for Call of Duty whatsoever. And if you are getting ready for playoffs, well, April is just around the corner after the March Madness. Well, we've got April coming. April 16th, 17th, and 18th, the $25,000 CCL Season 3 playoffs will kick off and end. It's going to be a nice big old weekend, kind of reminiscent of what we used to see from the CWL events and stuff like that, where we had 3 days of tons of teams playing Call of Duty. And I cannot wait for that to happen again. 64 teams. 8 teams from each of the individual regions will be facing off for that $25,000 prize pool. And Cruisin', I got to tell you something real quick too. After playoffs, we have something else on the slate as well. That's going to be the Activision Blizzard Collegiate Call of Duty Championship, where the CCL teams and, of course, the Activision Blizzard Call of Duty League for college are going to be facing off in an $8,000 prize pool, 16-team invitational. And that is going to be on May 8th and 9th for tournament weekend. Again, it's one of those events where none of us can really wait.
It's going to be a crazy weekend, man.
I'm convulsing just waiting about it. I'm just ready for it. I just want it to come.
I can't wait for that tournament. You're not wrong. It's going to be so good. It sounds like we are finally loading up into Checkmate. But before we can even get to playoffs, get to that other tournament, we kind of got to talk a little bit as well about this split number 2 that's coming. We're going to get to see the top teams against the top teams. I think that's what everybody wants to see. Everybody's going to be battling for those top 4 spots. And I mean, once you get in there, you're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. But whether we get to see that there or not, we'll have to get through this matchup first. It's going to be LVC in the blue going up against Concord Maroon in the white. And Concord Maroon already getting the start off on the good side spawn. So you're going to see LVC trying to flip these spawns out, trying to push through these planes. But it's already going to be Crook in the top of the plane, grabbing 2 kills for himself. And that's already 3 down for Concord Maroon.
And the only thing we know here inside of the CCL season thus far is that getting into the Division A of split number 2 for your region is going to be the best and most advantageous thing possible in terms of getting yourselves an opportunity to make it to playoffs without having to go through the relegation period of the regional qualifiers. LVC up and towards the plane. No, won't happen for long. Andrew Crook is going to fly in, was 6-0 at that point. Not sure if he was able to accrue some streaks. However, with the 6-1 record, 3 seconds in the hills for him, and Concord Maroon having about a 15-second lead now over the side of LVC. It's all about the rotations over to P2, and well, Concord Maroon has those locked down in full.
Yeah, and with only 10 seconds left on this plane, you got to imagine Concord Maroon is going to be able to hold on to these, at least for the very start, barring something remarkable coming in from LVC. But we get to see a team kill come in here, although they do get the spawn in the back, so it's actually only going to be Red Chase here for the time being for the side of Concord Maroon. We'll see if he can go big. Him and Crook are going to pick up 2. Trauma will grab 1 as well. So, I mean, for the time being, it's only going to be player number 4 for LVC in the back. That's Joker. He got a very blessing of a spawn back there, but he's going to end up dropping it. That's going to be Concord Maroon again with early time here in this hill.
We'll swiftly take care of the pest in the back slide and allow them to get back in towards this hard point with about 35 seconds remaining inside of it. And again, just like that, lightning strikes in the same place twice. Concord Maroon takes another 4 down from the side of LVC Esports. That's going to put them on the respawn block. They're going to try and get some top plane control, but really, it's all about setting up for the next rotation here with about 20 seconds left, folks. If you're new to Call of Duty or are wondering how hardpoint might be played, with around 20 to 25 seconds left in each of the hills, that's what we usually call the scrap time, where a team can go ahead and hold that down, get a good amount of points, but the other team is going to be looking to set up on those next set of rotations for power positions to get as much time as humanly possible. Usually you're going to be looking about 40 to 45 seconds on the bright side if you do get those early rotations.
Yeah, and I mean, LVC was doing a great job of trying to set up for this. Unfortunately for them, Crook sneaks on through, and he was able to find 2 from the back. So once again, it's going to be Maroon just set up here early, and now you're going to get to see how strong some of these head glitches really can be towards this middle of the plane. Trauma going to fall on the top, so that should at least open up top plane for LVC to try to get on in and get a little bit of map positioning back to them. They do start to accumulate some time here towards the bottom of this plane, but I mean, this is one of those zones that is just going to be so heavily contested from both sides coming through. Oh my
Chase. You see it right there. AR with the Krig over the top, going to be able to find some great shots. And again, we talked about the meta changes specifically before this match and how it's going to affect the map. And as Tenacious takes down Red Chase, we get a little bit of a taste of what this Krig can just about do. Any range that you want to be able to beam somebody, you can. It barely has any recoil on the weapon. The 74U is still as good as ever. However, there's a bit more recoil there. And as we see Megatron get 2 with the Krig, you're going to see these AR players really need to step up here inside of this best of 5 series from both of the 2 teams specifically. Concord Maroon has done the better of the 2 teams thus far. The story and the tale has been written in their favor. They're going to be holding down this hard point for the time being. Dunder's going to be able to find that initial break. Crooked is there, finding the shots. Contest still heavy. Twizzy gets taken down as well. So Andrew Crooked finds a pair of 3, 2 socks in a bundle. They'll be holding down to P4.
I mean, Crooked's shooting with the 74U right now, like it has no recoil at all on it. Basically, like it's post before the new changes. And I mean, he has 1 kill now off of streaks. So he's going to stick on with him. Challenges to the side. He's at least able to get the artillery strike, and that should be able to help their team quite decently towards the second half. But I mean, they are still now set up towards this next hill for rotations as well. There's going to be a lot of stuff LVC is going to have to do right towards the second half of this first split, towards the second half of this first rotation if they really want to be able to get some time. And I mean, I guess it starts off good with them being able to contest some time here, but they're spawning out so far away. They're going to have to go so far across the map to try to get towards this next hill.
One thing I should have pointed out before this series had started was how good this guy Andrew Crooked is. If the scoreboard doesn't show it already, at 22-7 on another 3 spree here with streaks in the back pocket to go along with it. This guy is one of those players that completely changes the complexion of a team. Slays at close range, slays at long range, and can pretty much do anything on the map, leading the team in the way of OBJ points right now and kills, leading the game in all of the above categories. So another 5 streak here from Andrew Crooked. Lightning, or I was about to say lightning strike, reminding me of BO4. No, cruise missile and the artillery barrage will come through. Again, streaks in the back pocket, continuing on the streak once again. Looks over towards the top here. Up the ladder he'll go. Looks to the left, back over towards the right. Joker gets the best of him this time. LVC not able to hold on to anything as the side of Conquer Maroon will eclipse that 150-point mark. It's a pretty stern margin to say the least right now, Cruz.
This might be the best I've ever seen a team play through a first set of rotations, only allowing 18 seconds to the side of LVC. And I mean, they're just winning every single rotational battle. They're winning all their gunfights. I mean, if we look over at the side, the best player on the side of LVC right now is Tenacious, who I called out before the map, said he needs to go big. He's 11-16, but he's going to need to get some supporting help here if they want to be able to continue to try to come back into this game a little bit here. Joker's starting to finally turn up top, but unfortunately for him, not going to have the people to just be able to trade that out, and he's going to fall as well. And now we get to see Megatron on some streaks as well.
Looking at the back staircase, it's only going to be 1 player in Tenacious pushing. However, that could serve the justice here to get the player in streaks. However, Megatron will fall to Tenacious on some unfortunate timing. Turned around and got the kill and towards that backside middle plane. So maybe some streaks there for Megatron. We'll have to just wait and see. However, with Tenacious laying down, Joker flying over towards the right side. Look at how closely the side of Conquer Maroon is playing. They're jumping out. They're sliding out. They're playing the trades. They're playing the straights perfectly with each other. And every time that the side of LVC gets a foot in the door, they slam it on them, break the foot in half. Concord Maroon absolutely holding that down the entirety of the plane, but map number 1 as a whole, they've got rotational spawns for P number 2 as well. 190 points now and climbing. They can win off of this hard point if they hold the entirety of it down. However, it's going to be a bit difficult, especially if the side of LVC just gets 1 little break, but this game should be over as it stands.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's with streaks. This is kind of put away at this point. We're just kind of waiting this one out. And I mean, look at Maroon; they're already still on this hill. I don't think they can win on this hill, but they can come very, very close. And I mean, the scary part is we're only on P2 of the second set of rotations. They've only allowed 31 seconds so far, and I mean, we've seen them do this time and time again this year so far in the CCL. The way these guys play together as a team, the way that they are always double challenging things together, always pushing together, just making the right plays at the right times. You're seeing why this team is 9-0 and they haven't dropped the map yet.
220. LVC about to get themselves their 50th point here inside of the map, number 1, and that's a great start for a potential comeback. However, again, this one pretty much is out of the water, and there is no bit of contention left that you can get in order to get back into this game number 1. We got to talk about the side of Concord Maroon here and how good they've looked. Obviously, Cruzen was just kind of highlighting some of the advantageous things that Concord Maroon has done in terms of a team play together. However, the biggest thing that surprised me thus far is the side of LVC. 7-2 instead of their pool. They come out early on and they seemed like they were getting a relatively good amount of contention and trades back and forth inside of Concord Maroon. It just seemed like whenever the side of LVC got a little bit of a glint of hope inside of a point, it was just the side of Concord Maroon that was able to get 2-3 down. And is that, I guess, in a sense, the side of LVC Esports just not being able to play as a collective and cohesive unit around the map, or is that just credit to Concord Maroon winning the majority of their gunfights?
I don't even think it's Concord Maroon necessarily winning the majority of their gunfights. I think it just really comes down to the fact of how they're playing together. If I'm being completely honest, it's they are holding down all the power positions on the map that you need to. And then also you have your players who are just pushing into the hill and slaying, but you also have players who are constantly watching over them. Your ARs are doing everything they need to do on the map. Luckily for LVC right now, actually, they're starting to turn up a little bit. This is probably the best that we've seen them get a rotation so far here. But as I said, that two players are going to fall. Red Chase will get traded out, though, so it's going to be Dunder inside the hill still. But, I mean, at this point, there's only 4 seconds left. This has got to be it. Concord Maroon. They had a chance, but let's be honest, it's Concord Maroon. They don't need any introduction. They're one of the top teams in the game.
It's like when you're talking about college football, no matter what it is. If you're talking about Alabama, they need no introduction. One of the best teams every single season. Same thing here with Concord Maroon. They've gotten, I mean, they finished top 3 playoffs last year. Once again, they're top 3 instead of the power rankings. So as Cruz said, no more introduction from Concord Maroon. But if you haven't heard of them before now, you have. LVC Esports now on the back foot, 250-75 is the first map score. Concord Maroon now with not only the advantageous position inside of the series, but we're going to the raid S&D where we know that Concord Maroon is really just the better team. I mean, S&D is, hardpoint's really their strong suit, but make no mistakes. Search and Destroy is a playpen, especially for Andrew Cooked and Red Chase here inside of the series.
I mean, yeah, like you can't really say anything about it. Like their search and destroy has been almost next to flawless if we're really looking at it. Like they haven't played Garrison Search though, so that I think that's the interesting one is that we are heading to a Garrison Search and Destroy. So, sorry, wait, are we heading to a Garrison Search? I might have. Okay, I think I have the wrong map. Okay, so it's raid. Sorry, so I have the wrong map written down, but a raid Search and Destroy. They are 6-0 and they only have 3 total rounds lost.
Yeah. That's definitely a number that makes you just say, okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. And to complement that as well, Cruz, I think we got to kind of go over some of the KDs for the side of Concord Maroon inside of the Search and Destroy game mode as well. And we'll just go to the top dog, Mr. Traumatizing. 4.29 KD inside of Search and Destroy over the span of 24 maps played inside of this inside of the season of the CCL. That's at least 9 games of Search and Destroy played where he now has an accumulative 4.2 KD. Going down to Andrew Crooked, a 3.65, a 2.75 for Red Chase, and the lowest and somehow the best almost over the entire side of LVC Esports, a 1.56 from Megatron, who is the captain of this roster. So you tell me, when you look at that, when you look at the stats, when you look at the statistics for both of these two teams and how they stack up against one another, specifically in Search and Destroy, Concord Maroon, how much better do they look in Search and Destroy? Like, they look better, but how much better do they look?
Concord Maroon looks really good at Search. But, I mean, LVC also isn't too shabby at Search and Destroy themselves, though. They're 8-1 in S&D, which, I mean, not too bad. if we're looking at some S&D KDs on their side, again, Tenacious 1.97. That's nothing to be bad about.
Just off that.
Nuts is at a 1.84. I mean, so if they're able to come out and play their game in Search and Destroy, they definitely have a chance. Hopefully, it's a little bit better for them than that first game was. And if we're looking at everything and we're being completely honest, Hardpoint is LVC's worst game mode at 7-5. So, I mean, with an 8-1 in Search and Destroy, there is still a chance. We can't completely write them off yet.
Well, the deciding factor in map number 1 was those ARs from the side of Concord Maroon and just how devastating they can be with those Krigs. But again, don't count on Andrew Crooked with that AK-74U getting up close and personal with the SMG. The caliber of players on raid here, it's going to be a rush fest in middle map, most likely, especially from what we've seen in the top teams inside of the challengers that have played this. But even inside of the CCL thus far, a lot of teams opt to try and get those first bloods through middle map because you know how big and devastating middle map presence can be, especially if you get set up early and have those power positions. You can look over through pillars. You can look over towards the water steps. But ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time that we get into the raid, search, and destroy. Both of these two teams vying for supremacy inside of the series. Conquered Maroon up 1-0 over the side of LVC Esports. Folks, if you're just now joining us, 250-75 was the score of map number 1, but LVC Esports, they've got pinstripe kill feed thus far. 2 versus 3. LVC Esports on the back foot here in round number 1.
Yeah, I mean, two go down very, very quickly. And those are two players that we mentioned out earlier. Joker's going to fall as well, so it's just going to leave Dunder by himself now. And, I mean, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place here. He's got to find anything that he can. Red Chase going to get some shots in on him as well. So not only is he in a 1 versus 3, but he's spotted out that he's going to fall very quickly there. Concord Maroon, they're coming out and they're trying to shut me up real quick. That's for sure.
You know it's a round you should win. Just look at this right here. Look at Trauma. He waits for his teammate just an instant to slide out around the corner. Then he pushes himself out around. And then the third player that just planted the bomb also wrapped over to help out the teammates as well. So, I mean, it's just clinical stuff. I love the way that these players are all able to play around the map together. The synergy, the chemistry that all 4 of the players on Conquered Maroon have. It's almost a thing of beauty. It's the 8th wonder of the world, if you could say as well. So Twizzy pushing up aggressively over towards water steps, looking for the first blood here inside of the round with his teammate player 0 in hand, player number 6 in hand. Joker, Twizzy now pushing up to the site. They could go ahead and get this bomb down behind Joker's first pick. Middle map control isn't going to necessarily be theirs. However, they have the entirety of that water side held down. Not going to be opting to go ahead and get the A bomb down just yet. Maybe looking for a second pick, and I believe he might have just saw the head of Andrew Crooked.
Oh yeah, he definitely saw Crooked's head there. The way that he's playing right now, he's just trying to check every little angle that he can. Honestly, it seems like they're kind of scared to try to plant this bomb right now, but it looks like bomb finally going to go down here, but it might be not in the best of time as Crooked peeks out the window, not going to spot the player though. But it is going to have to be a 2 versus 4 retake now for Concord Maroon. But I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be these guys.
Into money. Trauma. Craig, 74U in hand. Pushes with his teammate now. 30 seconds left. They've got 2 kills in the back. Oh, I was about to say 2 kills, but Trauma should be able to trade this one out. Sees Twizzy in the back here. Now a huge one-on-one will be able to be had. Craig comes out. Now looking around the corner. Tenacious up towards the top. Won't be able to find the shots. LVC, they are proving us right in talking about how good they can be in Search and Destroy. Map number 1 didn't go their way. However, round number 2 in map number 2. They start out to have a little bit of momentum here now, cruising, and this is what you love to see, right? If you're a fan, if you're a player on the side of LVC Esports, you have a little bit of momentum inside of the series. Obviously, it's not a ton, but getting that first round on the board in a Search and Destroy has to feel good, especially after that map number 1. What do we need to see from the side of LVC Esports here on the defensive side to counter what Concord Maroon did last time on the offense?
They got to put more pressure at A right now and try to get some pressure down middle map because, I mean, the last time they just got absolutely smoked, but it's going to be a completely different hit coming in from Concord Maroon as they look to head over towards this B site, and there's no pressure here from LVC, so they should get relatively an easy bomb plant down here. They're just going to check up in every little window, nook, and cranny that they can, but bombs should go down here from Crook. And, I mean, it's going to be a 4 versus 4 on the retake, and, I mean, Tenacious found the first one, so let's see what they're able to do.
I'll get some information on the second as well, but the trade does come through in the technical things. Actually making 3 players from the side of Conquered Maroon all playing out toward this outer ring. Tenacious will fall due to another trade that comes through. Did Megatron not see Dunder fly through there? So now it's a complete flip of the map. Trauma and his teammate now have the entire advantage of the top laundry side. Joker, the last player alive in a 1 versus 2. Around that Conquered Maroon should win. They have the advantage in right now. Stun around the corner. Megatron will fall. Trauma is there for the trade. And again, that just goes to show it exactly what we talked about after map number 1. Back and forth. Every single kill that the side of LVC Esports has was traded out instantaneously by Concord Maroon. They were able to get 2 in a row at 1 point, which forced it into a 1 versus 2 for Joker there at the end. Wasn't able to find that last kill over towards Trauma. 5-1 here instead of the search and destroy, keeping up with what we were talking about in terms of KDs.
And it's continuing again here. It's just every single time you see Concord Maroon get into a gunfight, they always have a player to back them up. And it's just not something that we're seeing from LVC. They won that first round off of a great first blood, and they were able to grab a second, and they were just in such a good man advantage. And you're already seeing the adjustment come in from Concord Maroon. They send a player to steps this time. He wins his gunfight. And now LVC is looking to see if they can find anything that they can do. And he's going to try to push on through the top of the kitchen. Falls as well. And that's going to leave 2 players, Dunder and Tenacious, by themselves here in a 2 versus 4. And I mean, if you're Concord Maroon, now all you got to do is play together and just play the trade game.
Yeah, well, also, bombs down the middle map, so LVC, they've got to push back for that in a 2 versus 4, so not only having to get these kills, but having to get the bomb down and potentially find the plant as well. So, Dunder is able to at least make things a little bit easier, turns around, but Crooked is there. Able to find the first shots. Tenacious is there once again, outer towards the right. Some great shots. However, the Krig from Red Chase, the main AR on the side of Concord Maroon, comes through, does inflicting damage to Tenacious and takes him out of the round. And after a quick round that the side of LVC Esports had after that first offensive loss, it has been 3 rounds straight here. Actually, make it 2 rounds straight for the side of Concord Maroon. And although they had a foot in the door, again, Concord Maroon has once again gone ahead and slammed it on them shut. Foot is broken. They're limping back through middle map once again. First bloods every single round seems like it's the Concord Maroon, unless LVC gets a great little pick in middle map.
And I think we're starting to see why Trauma has a 4.29 in Search and Destroy. He is already 6-2 in this game, off to a great start here. And look at Megatron, just sitting up over the top. He's going to back the players on the side of LVC up for Crooked to be able to get this bomb down now. But a nice kill comes in from over the top of Trauma very quickly there to trade it out. So it's just going to be Dunder up in that top window, just trying to finesse his life a little bit. Red Chase actually going to fall inside of Zig. So bomb should be able to go down here. And Megatron just escaping away with his life. So it's going to be a 2 versus 3 as they try to hold on. It's just going to be Megatron left alone by himself.
Over to the left, get shots onto Twizzy, but Twizzy swimming through the water is going to be a bit aquatic and get some shots onto Megatron, take down the kill, win the round. So, again, Concord, 2 rounds in a row. LVC, though, kind of equalize it back out, 3-2 here instead of the Search and Destroy. They're going to wait a second for the trophy systems to maybe get a little bit up. And I think what they're doing right now and what they should be doing is Twizzy should be the one to go ahead and find the defuse here, because something that we haven't had to see in Call of Duty in a long time, seemingly, is players that are on streaks defusing the bomb and having to really communicate with your team to see who is the most on streaks. We saw it in World War II. We had a little bit of it in Black Ops 4 as well, but Modern Warfare and into the beginning of this game, Search and Destroy has not played out like that. And the biggest thing is you want to be able to get the points for the defusal, but you also want to be able to get the points for the kills and everything like that. So if you are, say, on like a 2-3 spree, right, go ahead and find the defuse. If your teammate that is trying to defuse it has 0 spree, I mean, that just makes sense, correct?
Yeah,
I mean, you would at least hope it would make sense to other players, but it's just something we haven't seen in the last, I'd say, year and a half. So I can understand why some players might be a little bit rusty on the idea. But round number 6 is starting out now on the offense. LVC looking to go ahead and tie this thing up at 3-3.
But they got a full free bomb site, and they just got a self-made. That is not what you want to see if you are an LVC fan. That's for sure. They try to get the little nade over the top of the of mid, and I mean they're going to get the bomb down here, and they do have a decent post plant position set up. Player number 8 might be able to make a flank through as well on these players from the side of Concord Maroon. The bomb going to go down now. We'll have to see what Joker's able to do from these steps. He's going to have to go big.
Rotation all the way back around. Look at Conquer Maroon and what they're going to be doing here. 3 players pushing the basketball court. And if you're on the side of LVC and you see this initially, you're going to be crapping your pants a little bit if they all jump around the corner at the same time. That's exactly what they'll do. Look at player number 3 jumped up. Player number 2 then watched the... Oh my God. I'm gonna break that down in a second. But now as Andrew Crooked finds Joker there, it is going to be a 3 versus 2. The defuse is coming through. Twizzy up top in the window just needs to go ahead and go huge here. He'll get him off the bomb. And that should be a round win here. However, they're not going to be able to get it in time. Picks up the Krig instead. Will get out away with the life, at least for the time being. So a round win by Concord Maroon that we see them all fly through the basketball court. But I want to break that down real quick. So you're not going to be able to see exactly what I'm talking about unless they actually come through and show it here on the final kill cam now. So let's just do players number 1, 2, and 3. So player number 1 sprinted through, and while player number 2 started watching the money window while they were pushing for basketball courts, got into Tiki. Then player number 2 started to push out over towards Tiki, and then watch money, while player number 3 pulled up and was watching the right side push from the staircase in the middle map where water steps is. Then the exact same thing happened in a chain reaction to where each individual player made sure every angle was watched while someone was doing a different task, and that was beautiful. That was mastery. And it's just little things like that that you see on the mini-map that catch your eye that just show how good of a team Conquered Maroon can be. But LVC, they tie up the round there no matter how good those plays were.
And Trauma already off to another good start here, grabs the first blood. But like you said, just the masterful piece that it is watching Concord Maroon move around the map. And they get the pick over at A and then elect to auto-rotate all the way over towards B. Megatron's going to be set up by the raid statue. He's able to find one in the back. So now it's going to have to be a 2 versus 4 retake for LVC. And I mean, like you said, they're just masterful. They're masterful at watching this game.
You just see how much map presence they have after they get that first pick and to rotate back over towards B. It's just a mind game at that point. You just catch your opponents off guard, but in middle map, Red Chase is there. Thunder's going to get some unfortunate timing, and Red Chase with the kill there. Concord Maroon not only take the round, but it was a flawless round. They don't lose a single life. They take everybody on the side of LVC down. Now it's a 4-3 advantage for them. However, this game has been played extremely close. LVC, if you are just joining us, folks, lost map number 1. 75-250, where Concord Maroon now have themselves a 1-0 lead inside of this best-of-5 series. But this looks like a much better team on the side of LVC Esports here for the Search and Destroy than it did in map number 1. Their S&D looks much better than Respawn. However, you got to win a Respawn and to force a map number 5. Hopefully they can do that at some point in the series, but they've got to win this Search and Destroy first to even get to that point. Twizzy with the first blood there, and the way of Semtex is going to allow them to get over towards B and get the bomb down. Middle map control, kind of for Concord Maroon, but really it's just all about getting this retake back over to B.
They do have a man advantage, but why are you challenging by yourself middle map, Joker? You give up the man advantage that you have. Crooked gonna jump around the corner in the middle of the zig, and he's able to find one there. Twizzy just has to try to run and get away with his life here, and it's not going to be the case. So just as quickly as they got a great setup, the setup's going to fall, and it's going to leave Tenacious here in a 1 versus 2. Make that a 1 versus 1. This would have to actually, if he gets this kill, it'll be a 1 versus 3.
You saw him around the white van. Trauma needs to go ahead and find this kill. 10 seconds left. He's not going to be able to get the kill and get the round win. LVC tie it up 4-4. A technical 1 versus 3 from the man himself, Tenacious. That's a Tenacious round win. That's going to be huge for the, cruising.
That is huge.
That is huge. That is the biggest round inside of the Search and Destroy thus far, and it comes in the way of a 1 versus 3 against Concord Maroon.
Absolutely nuts. I mean, you know what's crazy too going into this is we were talking about this map, and we said Concord Maroon has only lost 3 total rounds going into this in 6 games. They have now lost 4 to LVC by themselves. So LVC definitely not too shabby here on the Search and Destroy. But they got to be able to pick up a defense. This is where we're seeing them struggle right now against Concord Maroon. They haven't been able to fully pick up these defenses. They seem to get picked quite early. Red Chase once again is just watching that left side, taking those shots down onto Dunder. Gets hit to 1 shot. He's literally at 2 HP, but he's just going to be able to get away with his life. Crooked able to find the first blood. Trauma pushes into the top, finds one for himself. And I mean, like I said, they're just getting picked apart on defense.
First time they've really been in the situation to where they were at risk of potentially losing a map here inside of the season. However, as that happens, 5-4 we go. Concord Maroon take a great round there, but realistically speaking here, Cruz, the one thing I kind of want to highlight too is the fact that if you are on the side of Concord Maroon, again, if you've never been in that situation before, how is the composure going to come through? Are you going to be able to go ahead and clutch up a big round? Are you going to fall and crumble under the potential pressure? And as a 9-0 team, you would certainly hope it's not going to be the latter. But again, the composure holds through. 10-4 here from Trauma is going to lead the way in not only kills for the side of Concord Maroon, but the entire lobby in general. And as Thunder is going to pull out the 74 U's and back to the Krig, it is going to be a pushback over towards the B site, the homestay that they had the round that they won before.
Right. And like you said, I mean, I would hope that they would be able to keep their composure up here, especially in the CCL. Like you said, this team isn't just a CCL team. They do play together in challengers as well. They're a well-versed team. I'm sure they've been in situations where they've been down before and they've had to come back. But I mean, they are one round away now from closing out this search and destroy. They do get a pick to start this round off, make that 2. So it's just going to be Dunder and Twizzy left alone by themselves here. The bomb is down as well, so they're going to have to go huge. Twizzy's going to drop, and it's just going to leave Dunder by himself, and he's been spotted out.
No, you got to turn around and see the player over towards the bottom ring. Not going to find him. Concord Maroon, after being tested 4 rounds apiece for both of those two teams, they win 2 quick rounds in a row on the offense and defensive side, respectively. 2-0 inside of this best-of-5 series. They maintain their perfect record in terms of map count, not just series count. And now they're at match point here on the side of LVC to go ahead and win this not only best-of-5 series, but basically securing the first seed inside of Division A for Split 2. Folks, welcome back. If you just missed it, or you just missed it by a mile, 250-75 was map number 1, 6-4 for the Search and Destroy. Now going back to Raid once again for Control. Basically the map that everybody loves and Control because, well, offenses actually have a chance.
They do absolutely have a chance. That's exactly how this is by far the best Control map in the game right now. I mean, you watch a map like Garrison, it's all defense. You watch a map like Checkmate, even more so all defense. And unless you were here yesterday, and we saw some crazy rounds yesterday on the Alpha stream where it was a whole lot of offense, 5 in a row for some reason. That was the weirdest Checkmate I have ever seen. But like you said, we're going to Raid next. Raid's going to be one of those maps where you absolutely have a chance to win those offenses. And I mean, you saw some really weird clutches on offense this weekend if you guys were watching the CDL. And I mean, we'll have to see if either of these teams are able to do it as we get ready to head on into there.
Well, Concord Maroon up 2-0 in the series. LVC Esports still looking for their first map win here inside of this best-of-5 series. On the other side of this break, Raid Control will be the next map and potentially the ending to map in series number 1 here on the Alpha stream for day number 2 of week 6 here in CCL Season 3. I'm McCormiel. S. Cruz and Spaz. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Concord Maroon looking for their final series victory here inside of split number 1 for CCL Season 3. Folks, welcome back to the first best-of-5 series here on the Alpha stream. My name is McCormiel, alongside myself is Cruz and Spaz, and Raid Control is the final map that we have coming up for us here, potentially here inside of this best-of-5 series. LVC has to win this map to start at least an attempt at the reverse comeback if they want to stay alive inside of the series. However, with the way Concord Maroon has been masterful, not only inside of their respawns, but in the search and destroy as well, a map like Control on Raid, I just don't see the results being any different for the side of LVC. And Kristen, if you find any difference in there, go ahead and feel free to express your opinion, but I feel like we both kind of have the same mindset going into this next map.
I mean, it is the number 3 ranked Concord Maroon. And like you said, and like you said, it is I think that they're definitely their best chance at winning a map would have been on that search and destroy.
Yeah.
Looking especially at map records for them as well. I mean, they are 8-1 in Control, but I feel like maybe in the respawns they are just a step behind the side of Concord Maroon. It's a little bit easier when you have multiple lives to come off of and you're just able to play off the back of your teammates in respawn game modes as opposed to when you're playing a search and destroy, it's only 1 life every round. That's why I really thought LVC had their best chance. I mean, and if you're looking over at the side of Concord Maroon, you were talking about their KDs in search and destroy. It looks much the same in this Control game. Trauma still with a 4.10 KD. That's ridiculous, especially for a respawn game mode. You got Crooked, who's at a 3.29 KD. Like, those aren't things that you should take lightly, not by any means. I think the only thing that you can really say for the side of LVC is Twizzy sitting at a 2.32, so you're going to need him to go absolutely massive and play basically the best he's played all year if you really want a chance for them to be able to pick up this map.
Well, there's some good and some bad news here for LVC. Good news is they've only lost 1 Control map throughout the entirety of Split 1. Here's the thing, though, Cruz. The one team that they lost to in the control was Penn State in a 3-0 sweep for that side. So they were able to beat UNH Chargers, who was the third-rate team inside of Atlantic A division. Basically, they've cemented themselves within the top 4, and they should essentially, and I say this, should be a relative, not lock, but right at the cutoff line for those top 4 teams that automatically advance from this division in towards that 64-team playoff bracket. The one thing I will want to see, though, is how they stack up against UNH and Penn State once again inside of this next split, because here inside of split 1, they played them the first week inside of this split. So that was 6 weeks ago. That was when they first played those 2 matches. Over the course of that time, they've had an opportunity to get better, find more chemistry as a team, and be able to come out as a cohesive unit. And that, I think, showed inside of the Search and Destroy against the side of Concord Maroon, because no other team has been able to do anything close to that on the side of Concord Maroon beforehand. So looking at both of these 2 teams, obviously you see LVC, it might be a step behind. But when it comes to playoff time, and especially when we have those split 2 weeks where we still have basically, 5-6 more weeks left inside of CCL Season 3 before playoffs even start, I mean, that's a lot of time to build yourself back up to a place where you can compete and take down potentially those top dogs and beat Upset City when it comes to playoff time.
And I mean, I like you said, LVC, the very first week, that's when they had to play their 2 toughest competition in this whole entire division. They played Penn State, they played UNH. They lost to both of them, but they took a map off both of them. So you gotta know in the back of their minds that they know they have a chance against these top dog teams. It just comes to how they're going to play on every single day when they come out. And I mean, I think the one thing that they have that they can absolutely look back on now, because you know that all 3 of these teams are qualifying for split 2, for the higher division of split 2. So you know they can go back, they can watch those matches over, learn from their mistakes, and then hopefully come out in the next series, the next time they play one of those 2 teams, and be able to come out and get a win. And if they can place towards the top of that, if you get that top 4 and you're getting that guarantee towards playoffs, man, you never know what can happen come playoff time.
Folks, Bravo stream right now, still going on. Purdue Gold versus the SCC Saints. And that, again, is the 9:30 match. Here on the Alpha stream, we've got 2 more matches after this best-of-5 series concludes. Match number 2 will be UTK White versus the E4 Knights. And then finally at 11 p.m. Eastern, a little bit later on tonight, that'll be LU Esports going up against Waterloo Gold. Cruz and I will be back here for that match as well. So as we get ready for raid control here for map number 3, I believe we're loading into the map as we speak. So that is good news for everybody here. No longer do we have to wait to get into this map. It is time for a potential closeout of the series for the side of Concord Maroon. Undefeated in map count, undefeated in series count. The side of Lebanon Valley College looking to go ahead and steal a raid control off of the side of Concord Maroon. Can they go ahead and do it? It starts now. We're about to find out. LVC on the left, Concord Maroon on the right.
And both these teams right off the bat trying to go towards this A site. And it's going to be LVC on point. They're actually able to grab 2 kills. And one of those kills was on Red Chase, who was trying to make a big flank on through the back. So great awareness from the side of LVC right off the rip here to be able to grab a couple. Joker shooting like that. Able to find another one. But they don't get the second tick in yet. It's going to be up to Dunder, and he's drops. But all the side of LVC now heading over towards that B site. They're going to have some important gunfights to win here, but unfortunately going to drop 2 of them, and the player number 6 is going to have such a big job that's going to be crooked up in that up in that zigzag. If he can do something big up there, it's going to be absolutely huge.
Joker got the recognition the player was on the water step staircase, so that alleviates pressure over towards water steps. They get the close spawns over towards the A control point. They've already got basically half the zone contested. This should be at least the second tick, and maybe even more if player number 8 can't get back through middle map. Players number 8 and 6. This will be Megatron and Crooked there. Megatron will be the first one to go down. Crooked there, just 1 shot, but nobody's there to find that trade. So only 2 ticks over towards A. The closer spawns over towards B. Now, they're going to try and flood this, but they've got opposition ready in the way. Players number 7 and Red Chase. Player number 8 and Megatron also there as well. They make the pinch play through here. Megatron's there, finding some shots there on a player number 4. That's going to be both of those players going down. Player number 3 and Dunder, the last one left alive in the water. The deep dive won't work. He'll be cut down in the shallow waters. LVC Esports back on the back foot over towards A.
Yeah, and they are definitely going to be able to grab this A site. I think the only issue for them right now is going to be lives. They are down 4, and I mean, the only good thing that I think that they have right now is to get B. You only really need 1 big break over here. So if they're able to push on through, get a 4-down wipe, which is easier said than done for sure against this Concord Maroon team, especially with the positioning of where player number 6 is. Crook is all the way in the top bedroom. Although we do have a 3-man pinch from the side of LVC pushing on towards this hill. We'll see if they're able to make these trades work out, and Tenacious is going to be able to grab 2, and that's going to be the tick starting to go up on B.
I love that you mentioned that player number 6 was up in towards top bedroom, because Crooked not only is able to have a power position over the top to find the backside of the players that are pushing over towards B, he can go ahead and find the spawn trap kills there, and unfortunately does not find one. However, that's going to slow down that push from the side of LVC and give the side of Concord Maroon all the evidence in the world of where that push is going to be going. Joker finds the first blood as they start to push over towards the site. Right through the mouth of the defensive side is going to be LVC. It is going to be Lebanon Valley who do find 2. So behind Joker's 2-piece, now looking for a couple more kills. However, technical trades back and forth in a pinstriped kill feed. Player number 6 and Andrew Crooked looking to be a little bit of a mischief player. Down in towards middle, finds the kill there. Trauma over the top there too. In the kitchen, that's going to be all the players down from the side of LVC except one. Twizzy just playing his life in towards Art. It won't matter. Crooked is there. 3 spree for him, 2 spree and 2 1 streaks for the side of Concord Maroon. Everybody streaking on the side of Concord Maroon. Birthday skin going wild here on Raid Control.
And the scary part is that they have a 9-life lead here in this round. So, sorry, make that an 8 now. But either way, that's still a great life lead. For those of you who don't know, the last round of Control, if we do end up getting there, is always determined by which team, whoever has the most kills gets defense. So them being able to have a huge kill advantage like that, even through just round number 1, is going to be so huge for the side of Concord Maroon and guaranteeing themselves a defense towards that 5th round.
See the side of Lebanon Valley College can flip that around on its head and find themselves a really nice defensive round here. Again, before this series started, rather before this Control started, we talked about how influential the side of defense is, but this match specifically, how good offense can be as well on the counterpart. I mean, really getting over towards A or B, the reason it's so easy is because of how close the spawns are after you potentially get a wave down. So if you're pushing 3 players over towards B, maybe 4 players, if 3 to 4 players go down and you get those kills over towards B, the players on the side of LVC or the defensive side or rather the offensive side should spawn over towards the closest bomb site that doesn't have a lot of players from the defensive side on it. So it's going to be interesting. However, with Trauma finding 2 on a 2 spree here instead of the round, they're looking for Joker on the flank. Joker on the hot tub will be able to find one. Just kidding! Andrew Crooked takes him down, so that's going to allow them to not only get the first tick over towards B, it should be a second tick as well. Player number 3 on the basketball court, the last line of defense, and it is going to be Dunder at 5 and 9, who makes that chow, wraps back over towards Kitchen, tries to play in towards Money, takes down Megatron, but they have the information of where the side of LVC is playing now. They're going to get this B tick and add an extra minute.
Yeah, so LVC decides to chalk the hill. And, I mean, that's the play that you want to see out of them. Tenacious is going to be pushing up all the way towards this garage, which is going to cause the players from Concord Maroon off of spawn to either be spawning down by the bedroom or down towards that back of that garage. And he's going to be here once again. But Tenacious gets ripped off the head glitch from Megatron. Beautiful shots coming down at range there. And that's going to leave Dunder by himself here towards this. And I'm sorry, he was not by himself. One more player with Twizzy right there helping him get those shots down range. But still, great hold so far from LVC as they were able to just try to push Concord Maroon out the littlest bit that they can. The issue for them now is Concord Maroon has been able to find the kills within their spawn, but you already have Tenacious once again trying to be that pest, trying to get into their spawn. Maybe a job more for a submachine gun player. He's going to get beat down at range. And this is just looking like this might be a Concord Maroon offense win here.
Well, they still got a minute and 30 seconds to play with, but only 3 lives separating these 2 teams at this point. So Lebanon Valley can go ahead and find themselves potentially even down inside of this round, and as the 2 kills will go through, it's still going to be 3 versus 3, or rather 3 life advantage for the side of Concord Maroon in that regard. So Crooked pushing up, they're just going to be sprinting forward off spawn, not expecting anybody to be inside of that area. As the Semtex comes around the corner, won't be able to find anything. Twizzy's just going to be playing his life around the corner here. Can he go ahead and find potential shots? No. Twizzy will fall to Megatron's AR over towards the ring. Megatron's still going to be alive, just playing this laundry area together. They'll get A back down to basically 0 progress, and that's going to be big for them to go ahead and find maybe another potential push back over towards the zone if Concord Maroon do get a couple of kills going in their favor, but they've got 2 players stacked it. Middle map control not in their favor. 7 lives to 12 remaining, 5 separate these 2 teams. Tenacious is there, as well as Joker now pushing up through middle map, but the shots from top art are going to be there. Andrew Crooked finds 2, 5 spree, looking for streaks potentially here. Twizzy going to be pushing around that left side corner, making sure he can't get shot over the top from Dunder. However, Dunder will find the kill in the way of Krig. Now, 2 ticks over towards A. 4 lives remaining for the side of LVC. Now make it 3 as a player gets a kill over towards middle map. However, they trade back and forth once again. 2 ticks over towards A. They bring it back down in terms of progress. Megatron is there, but Thunder is there to absolutely devastate the blow to the side of Concord Maroon. They're going to be able to survive for a little bit longer, but with just 2 lives remaining to 8, they're going to have a very, very tough hill to climb. The side of Concord Maroon looking great. 1 more kill, 1 more player. It's all they need. Crooked there. Crooked takes him down. Concord Maroon at match and series point now here in the raid control.
And like you said, it comes to a point where life's become way too meaningful here. And for the side of LVC, they are just not on the same level right now as Concord Maroon is in terms of slaying. It just isn't there. We've seen it in the map 1, the map 2 a little bit closer, but especially this map 3, you're starting to see it. Just look at the kill death ratio on both sides. It's so much higher on the side of Concord Maroon. Everybody positive except for outside of 1 player. Then you look over at the other side of LVC and everybody negative. And it's so unfortunate to see, but unfortunately it is what it is. Concord Maroon are going to be looking to put it away here on this defense.
Good news, Joker's here to stay. They're going to go ahead and get that first tick over towards A. So, with the players now pushing from Concord Maroon back over towards this A point, they're just going to be trying to get a couple of first picks here in order to get these players and dwindle them off of this point. Really, this early stage inside of the round is making sure, 1, you don't give up full control of the site, but also just dwindling down your opponent's life count. Right now, the side of LVC does have that at least slight advantage. However, as I say that, instantaneously 2 kills do go in the way of Concord Maroon. They've got 2 ticks over towards A, and with Twizzy finding the kill, they're not able to find Red Chase, so no trades available. Player number 2, you're going to see them spawn over towards bottom bedroom. However, that player in player number 8 middle map, and Megatron is going to actually force the spawn all the way back in towards garage. They won't get those close spawns over towards bottom bedroom just yet. However, pushing over towards B, it's going to be players number 4, 2, and number 3.
And oh my god, I can't believe Red Chase actually won that gunfight. It looked like Twizzy was ready for him there. Not going to be the case. It's just going to be Dunder again by himself. The 2 players on the side of Concord Maroon, players 7 and 5, are pushed all the way up into Zigzag, and they are there just beating down on these players from LVC, just waiting for them to push on in, literally chopping them down at the knees every moment that they get right now. And what this is doing is it just makes it so hard for LVC to even try to make a push out of their spawn. 4 more down once again, and it's just going to leave Twizzy here by himself. The spawns are going to continue to hop up in the back of that garage. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just too many kills going the way of Concord Maroon and not enough trade for LVC.
Well, they're getting another spawn for the time being, Red Chase. So, okay, got a little hairy there for a second, but Andrew Crooked is there to clean up the pieces. The consequences for the side of LVC for getting spawn trapped. A fat face full of Concord Maroon. Andrew Crooked now on 4, looking for potential 5. Twizzy up the staircase, won't be able to find just anything at all. 4 lives left for LVC. 5 seconds left here on the game clock. Nobody's got to push. Tenacious looking off into the distance, perhaps for some great views and maybe a tender sunset to come through as well. But it's not going to matter. That sunset's not going to be at the happy ending of that road. Concord Maroon, a 3-0 sweep, not only in the control, but in the series as well. A closely contested search and destroy was the only thing that went in the way of LVC throughout this series. And they're going to improve not only from 9-0, but stay undefeated to a 10-0 record here and secure themselves basically in towards split 2 as the top seed.
And I mean, not really much of a surprise here in this series. I think we both knew. I think we both knew that this outcome was going to be the outcome of the series. But we got to stay impartial for the stream, obviously. But it's unfortunate when you're LVC, you're coming up against a team who is to the level of Concord Maroon. They're going to have to play them again later on in the split because, like we said before, both these teams for sure are going to be qualifying for that second split, the higher tier. And I mean, it's just really going to come down to if they can learn from their mistakes against these big dog teams and be able to come out with the wins against them.
Yeah. Well, Concord Maroon, they're going to be moving on to split 2. They're going to be in the top division. LVC, though, don't worry. They're also going to be moving on to split 2 as well in that top division with Concord Maroon. So we're going to see these 2 teams play off against one another once again before playoffs do eventually come through. However, in playoffs, we know how dangerous it can be. It's going to be a slippery slope for these teams to get into the playoffs first and foremost, but also when playoffs do come around, how difficult it's going to be between these teams. Concord Maroon, they look like a team to not be messed with in that regard. They've got a lot of potential. They've got a lot of talent. and they're going to be coming for that Ottawa squad here when it comes to playoff time, and that's obviously if they do face off against one another. A lot of teams coming out of the woodworks throughout the entirety of the season here, but that's going to do it for series number 1 here on the Alpha Stream. Coming up next, it's going to be UTK White going up against the E4 Knights, and well, folks, I could not be more happy than to sit back and be able to watch this match. Folks, you're going to have Morgan and Proper coming up next here on the call for the side of the E4 Knights and UTK White. That's going to do it for us. We'll be back for match at 11 o'clock later on this evening for the final match here of week number 6 on the Alpha channel. Folks, if you're going to be waiting here, grab some popcorn, grab a snack, maybe go over and enjoy some of the Bravo games before the next match here on the Alpha channel starts. But that's going to be it for match number 1 for me, McCormiel, and for him, Cruz and Spaz. Folks, we'll be back for match number 2 here on the Alpha Stream.